Hey guys, what's up? So krup, John here once again. Welcome back to my channel, and this is the part 2 of our video that talks about Filipinos as to why we come here to work in Thailand as a teacher.
We are moving to the Q&A session, and we will let you to answer the Q&A session. But before we go there, okay, so we have like a vox pop video about the Philippines knowledge, a little bit of Philippines. So are you guys ready to see the vox pop video? Okay, so here we go to the video.
My name is Natapano Nopapun. I'm Deputy Director General of the Information Department and Deputy Spokesperson of the Thai Foreign Ministry. I lived in the Philippines for a total of 7 years, around 1986 until 1993. It was because my father was a diplomat, a Thai diplomat as well, so he worked at the Thai embassy in Manila. I was determined to work in the Thai Foreign Ministry as a diplomat. So after my graduate course in the United States, I came back to take the Foreign Service exam to become a diplomat. It's very different actually. Filipinos, because of their history, they have certain cultures which are more westernized than Thai culture, as they were a colony of the United States. Culture, of course, they're kind of mixed. Filipino, indigenous with Malay culture. I think in the past it was migration from Malaysia and Indonesia. I think but with a mix of Spanish and American blood, some Filipinos don't look like Southeast Asians at all. Yeah. And some look very like European, yes. But they're actually Filipinos. I think the Philippines has a very high population. I think like maybe in the 60s or 70s they were equal to us in Thailand. But then as the years went by, I think they're almost reaching like exceeded 100+ million people already for their population. So I think birth control is a problem in the Philippines, and so poverty. So I think that the high number of unemployment is because of the big population and some issues in the economy as well. So I think more jobs have to be created. This is true in these recent years. I think it's around 30,000 Filipinos in Thailand already. I think the reason is because we have a booming economy and a big tourism industry. So like, for example, when tourists come to Thailand and employ Filipinos, they have staff that can speak English very well. It was a very good opportunity for Filipinos to come and work abroad, especially in Thailand as well. Filipinos are very keen in English language teaching, right? So I think perhaps economic-wise, if schools hire Western teachers, like from Australia or the US, sometimes the cost is higher. The policy of the Ministry of Labor covers all. I think there are these laws which take care of their well-being. The universal health coverage, which gives the health benefits and access to all persons in Thailand. So that, of course, includes also those in any legal status, universal health coverage in hospitals, the 30 baht scheme, right? Because it doesn't matter what status they are in. It was a different age anyway. I was in the Philippines when I was young, up until I was around 18 or 19. This might be that in Thai society, reserved kind of feel. It's sort of like we reserve our feelings. We give, we're kind of obedient to many things. In the Philippines, it's more of a free exchange, free speech kind of society. So young people talk to the elderly and are kind of a little bit of like living in the United States. And so there's the Western influence in the Philippines.
So thank you so much
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
having us. It's such an honor to interview you today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Here comes to the Q&A session. Okay, Mr. John, are you still here with us?
Yes, yes, of course, I'm still
Yes,
here.
okay, and now we have like a new company which is Pon who will have and help us for this Q&A session.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, hello, my name is Paul, pumupunta. So, I'm in charge of a Q&A sessions with everyone today. And if you guys are curious of anything, please leave your question in the chat box. And please do not hesitate to send me any questions. For the first questions that Mr. Bruce asked the guest speaker, what is the drawback when it's come to working in Thailand and with a Thai student or Thai colleagues, or does it have any horror stories for you, Mr. John?
So I'm so sorry. Can you say that again, please?
Okay. What are the drawback when it's come to working in Thailand with the Thai students or Thai colleagues? Any horror stories?
Horror stories. I think that is a strong word. Never yet, but I think in terms of drawbacks, Thai students are, as what I've seen in the video, it says Thai people are more reserved. So yes, sometimes I would like my students to be able to speak freely, but I feel like they're afraid to speak up. For me, I would like them to ask questions, be able to sort of challenge me in a friendly way, but it never happened in my classroom most of the time. I think we can learn a lot more if we can be more open to ask questions and answer and share your own opinions. But my students are not like mostly. So I feel like that's one thing that, yeah, it's a kind of a drawback to me. As for my colleagues are actually quite okay because some of them studied abroad, so they are more open to talk mostly about everything. We share different kinds of opinions, and we don't argue. We just discuss things.
Okay. Since you living in Thailand, so can you speak like some Thai words, some Thai sentence that the
Oh,
most Filipino working here can have to learn to speak Thai?
ใช่ครับพูดภาษาไทยไม่ได้ครับพูดภาษาไทยพูดได้นิดหน่อยครับผม
Oh, okay.
Is that even
And
okay? I'm not sure.
I think a survival language, survival terms to
Okay.
live in
Yeah.
Thailand. And from the question from Aparat, she would like to know the Filipinos' perspective toward Thai education. As a teacher, do you think that our education is weak in general, not the international program, but how Thai students perform in English class with Filipino teachers? Some of them might afraid to talk with Western teachers.
Okay. I think in 2014, I've seen like a survey, a research kind of thing that says that Thailand has over 97 something, 96 or 97 literacy rate, meaning, they're able to study freely. Unfortunately, there are some situations, particularly in English, that makes me think Thailand's education is really not okay right now because of even the basic English things can be a real struggle for foreign teachers, particularly. And compared to the Philippines, Filipinos speak English because we are taught to ask questions. We are taught to talk back in a way, talk back not in the manner of being rude, but more like be able to speak freely. I think that's one way that I would wish to see from my students because I believe, as I've said earlier, if you are asking questions, it doesn't mean that you are challenging the teacher. It means like you want to know more. That's for me. Another thing is, even if I fail my students, sometimes I would see, this is in the high school level because I've taught high school as well, part time. Even if you fail students in high school, at the end of the year or the term, you will see that they actually pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no failing system in Thailand. So I think that is another problem that Thailand has to solve.
Okay, so Since we ran out of time for today, we thank you so much for you to answer our friends Q&A, and also like could you just tell us the name of your channel to subscribe?
Sure. My channel's name is Khon Philippine. It's Khon and then Philippine. So if you are interested to learn about my own personal life here in Thailand, please do subscribe. And also Team Benlir, another one. That's my family channel.
Okay.
If you want to see my daughter speak Thai in English, you'll be able to see her as well. So yeah, please do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you so
here and
much.
inform us about the Filipino, the life of Filipino people in Thailand and how to work as a teacher.
My
Okay.
pleasure. And one
Thank
more
you.
thing, you guys are amazing speakers. I was actually impressed by the way you create your questions, the way you present yourselves. You seem so very confident, and that's actually amazing. I wish I could be a teacher, your teacher.
Here. Thank
Anyway,
you
thank you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you.
Okay, so and also thank you all friends for joining us for today. And do you guys have any fun? Okay, do you guys have fun with our topic today? Okay, thank you so much. And the question that we didn't ask Mr. John, we will answer it in the chat box below. So now, give the mic to Mr. Tanner.
ขอบคุณครับสวัสดีครับ
Okay, สวัสดีครับ Okay, thank you. That's a great presentation.
That's it, guys. That's the end of part 2. I hope you've learned something new, something more, and I would like you, if possible, to share this with your friends to better understand the reason why do Filipinos come here to work as a teacher. If you find this helpful, again, consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button down below and the notification bell para laging updated sa mga future videos natin. Thanks once again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.